I wanted to come on here and talk about addressing the triggers before moving into a new relationship. How do you heal? What are some of the things that are really, really important to kind of sit with that moment of time of being single and just really allowing the space to gain clarity and to move forward in positive and healthy ways. The reason why we need to heal before we even think about moving into new relationships is because we don't want to be carrying old baggage that we want our new partner to be responsible for. I think it's really, really unfair, and it kind of is not going to be a good start to a long-term situation if we can't just really take the time of being single and being alone to really go inward and really focus on the things that necessarily we kind of need to work on, or we need to heal, or we need to get over, or we need to forgive, and all those great things. So how do you do that, right? Number one is journaling. I know, journaling. I know it sounds like Dear Diary, and I know a lot of people talk about it, but I really want to tap into the nature of what journaling actually does for me, and how you can make your journaling more effective. And number one is, like, I journal all the time, and I don't just like pick a specific time of day to do so. I could be at the park and like see somebody that kind of like stirs something in me, or maybe I'm seeing a couple have an argument, or maybe I'm seeing a couple really love each other, and what that really means to me, like it struck a chord, or it struck a trigger even sometimes, or even like whatever the case may be. I'll open up my notes and I will write a journal entry and just really see what comes up for me in that moment, so that I can later look back and say, why did I feel that way? Or what a beautiful thought, or how can I really just dig into what I was feeling at that time. I think a lot of times people have like specific moments that they want to journal, and that's great to like add it to your schedule, but get in the habit of really like figuring out what about a certain situation, or what, as you go out through the course of your day, like what can you bring into that, and how do you learn from what you're experiencing. So for instance, I seen like this really cute old couple, and they were leaving Walmart, and they were fixing each other's mask, and he kissed her on the forehead, and it really reminded me of like how many times I just wanted that kind of affection, how many times I just wanted my own father to give me like one of those daughter father kisses, or one of those situations. And so it really struck a chord in me, and it really allowed me to see my codependency on certain things in my past relationships. And so it just really helps us kind of see what's in the forefront of us, and allow us to really peel back the layers, so that we can develop healthier practices for the things that are coming up for us. Number two is being able to sit with yourself and really acknowledge how much you do or you don't love yourself. A lot of times after we leave relationships, it's so easy to go into self-sabotage, like, oh, it's your fault, it's because you gain weight, or it's because you're crazy, or nobody's gonna ever want to be with you. It's so easy to go into that, but I really want you to take daily notes on, not even daily notes, but taking a second to really just have a moment of like being in love with yourself. And if you can't learn to love yourself, it's okay to like yourself for now. And what I mean by that is, if I'm having a moment to where I'm really, really trying to produce self-love for myself, I am laying down, like really just in taking in relaxation, and maybe I have my crystals around me, or maybe I am listening to beautiful music that really feeds my soul and makes me feel good about myself. I'm really big on like active touching, right? Because we are in the sexual realm. So I'm literally like actively touching myself, and not even in a pleasure way, but in a way to rewire my nervous system, to really just bring in that love that my body needs. I really do a lot of activation when it comes to the womb, and just really understanding and standing in my feminine grace, but also just allowing myself to be with myself and just feel really safe and secure and supported. And whatever that may look like for you, however you actively do that, I really suggest doing that as much as possible, whether that's taking a grounding bath so that you can just have a moment, or maybe you just need a moment to cry and be able to self-soothe or liberate any emotion that you are experiencing. But it really starts with being able to take that time and just say, you know what, I'm just going to be here in all of my grace, and I'm just going to take that quiet moment for myself. Okay. Number three is, if you are actively dating and you are actively like maybe looking for a date, or whatever the case may be, or you're just out there, enjoying single life, it's really important that you are clear on your boundaries, and you are really open to fully understanding like what you want in a relationship. I think it's fun to like, go out and do the single thing and kind of explore different stuff and see what you really like. But I think it's important that you have an active list of the things that you're actually looking for if you are seeking a life partner. What are those boundaries? What can you really get into the depths of like what you really are willing to accept, even in arguments, even in when you guys when you guys do disagree, when you don't really necessarily see eye to eye. How do you want to be held? How do you want to be nurtured? How would you like somebody to respond to you in certain ways? What does it feel like, or how do you perceive, or how do you receive love? A lot of times when you ask women what do they want, they're like, oh, the real basis, like good looking, da 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 da. But how do you want to be held? And the reason why we write these lists, it's because we want to be able to go on these dates and look at things and then just know without wasting a ton of time if this person's actually going to be somebody that you want to spend your life with, right? Because that's why I date. I mean, some people date just to date, but you know what I mean? That's like what dating is, right? So you can actively be able to see if it's going to be your life partner. So having that list of what you want, and then also taking the time again to just really pull back the layers of like, what does love look like for me? How does somebody hold me in a way? Am I open to even receiving any type of like touch? When am I going to be ready to have sex with somebody when I just got out of a relationship? What is that requirement for me to give my body to somebody? You know what I mean? Then like, you know what I mean by requirements. Don't think too much into that. Just like in terms of like having standards. It's so easy to be like, oh, he's cute and he seems nice, so I guess I'm gonna sleep with him. But just really pulling back those layers and seeing like, what is gonna make me want to give the most precious thing to somebody else, and how do I want that moment to be? And it's not about like having perfection, right? It's just really like, how do you want to be held, and how do you receive and perceive that? And so it's not like, oh, he better take me on this elaborate date and do this, 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 and this. And of course, if that's what you want to plan, you can do those things. I'm just saying, like, it's all about creating the standards that are not like demanding, like not demands. Trying to get all my words out today, but those are the things that I think are really, really helpful to kind of just see, and then just again, like if we're addressing any type of trigger while you are actively dating somebody, it really does help you see if you need to heal that part of you, or if it's a partner that you even have a desire to be with. And again, you don't want to take like 10 years to figure that out. So those are some of my tips. I really hope that was super helpful. If you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear down below. Just let me know. Hope you have a fantastic Wednesday, and I'll talk to you soon.